Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules here for What Culture with Scott, and if we're together, it can mean only one thing. It is time for that jingle.
Hot dang, there's news, give it all you got. I guess it's time for Jules and Scott.
And we're back in the room, and today we're talking about EA and their relationship with Disney and their relationship with the Star Wars franchise.
Yes.
Now, obviously EA have been under contract with Disney now for 5 years, and they've released 2 video games, one of which is a sequel, so
There's
clearly knocking them out of the park there.
No, there's a lot of mobile ports. There's a lot of like Galaxy of Heroes
Do
and
we
all that
count
kind
them?
of thing. I mean, they're all right.
Well, the ones that EA have made, have been
like big AAA ones. There's
Yeah.
a lot less of them. Yeah.
So basically what has happened is it's come to light that Disney are actually thinking about possibly not renewing their deal with EA because for unknown reasons. It might have been because yesterday there was a thing that EA put out saying that they were going to look to Activision and other developers to help them produce a new Star Wars game even though they had exclusivity agreements. So it might be because of that. It might also be because of the fact that Disney just aren't impressed with the content that they're putting out. I mean, everyone knows the Star Wars Battlefront 2 debacle that was. Disney themselves came out and said, "Hey, like this isn't cool. Like you're besmirching the name of like all of the stuff that Star Wars has done." Obviously, they shut down LucasArts Studio.
I mean, that whole conversation was like almost assumed, but yeah, it got reported that someone from Disney got in touch with EA, and they were the ones who forced EA to remove the microtransactions, and that's led to this. But it was initially reported on by Cinelinx. You reckon they had the inside scoop as to the fact that Disney weren't happy with EA and that they're scouting out Ubisoft and Activision to take the license.
Yeah.
Now, it would be that because at the minute EA's deal is a 10-year deal, which is meant to go all the way obviously through to 2023. But apparently there's some clause in it that allows Disney to get out if they want.
I guess like a 5-year mark, which is probably going to be coming up.
So they can literally Vader it and be like, "Pray we don't alter the deal." And it's just
I'd love it if they did that. I'd love
just the face of Disney
with the Mickey Mouse ears just on him. That'd be amazing.
Pray I don't alter it further.
But this is actually quite interesting because I mean, looking at
every time, why is it there?
Fully operational battle state. It's because it's got the microphone on it.
But do we go that much quieter if it's out of arm's reach?
We do. Right, this is staying in.
Production woes.
So basically, what's the interesting thing is that because they're looking at Activision, what was the other person that they were looking at?
Activision and Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. Now, they are both quite competent at making yearly franchise game. Maybe I'm just saying that's what they do. They sell well.
Yes.
They are very good at what they do.
True.
Maybe the games need a bit more polish, but still, that might be the route that Disney wants to take with much more content hitting the shelves every single year. Why not? I think Star Wars is a license to print milk.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you look at the projects that have fell by the wayside. Obviously, one of the biggest was Amy Hennig's. It was codenamed
1331 or whatever.
There was Star Wars 1313. That was a bit older than when they signed the exclusivity deal.
Right.
But Amy Hennig's whole Uncharted Light thing came from that, and that was what that was essentially going to be. And if you read all about that, there was a whole load of different game mechanics that were in progress. There was a whole load of stuff that could have come together, and it just got canned.
I would not be surprised if we saw more sort of movie tie-in games coming back in again, because there was like a big slew of them around the sort of early 2000s. And they weren't that great, let's face it.
No.
But then things like Traverse Tales with their Lego franchise games and things like that came out, they kind of pushed that. So maybe there is potential to see good Star Wars games coming out in line with all of the movies. I personally wouldn't mind seeing some of the Rogue One stuff made into video games. Like expand the canon again, because they tried it with Star Wars Battlefront 2. They wrote an in-canon story for the narrative. Wasn't received as well as they probably would have liked, but still.
But it's something.
But maybe Disney are going to look to do that more now. Maybe put more stories into the canon universe that are actually there.
I would hope so. I mean, I remember, especially like you said, across the 2000s, we had everything from Jedi power battles to Knights of the Old Republic and whatever. There was Star Wars games left, right, and center. Whereas now it feels like EA are very constricted and restrained by it. Oh, sorry, they're very restrained by it. And as such, only a couple things drip out every now and then. And then they're so money hungry that it does sully the name of it. If you're Disney, you're just you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Where there's wholesome family company and you're dragging us through the muck and getting us labelled as an online gambling casino for kids.
And you've also got to point out the fact that their game mode type of being a first-person shooter isn't the most family-friendly, accessible thing. Making it into a third-person action adventure or something like KOTOR or something even simpler than that might be more applicable to the masses, which is clearly where Disney wants to hit.
True.
So, well, who knows what's going to happen down the future, and who knows if Disney are even going to sever their ties. It's just that this has come to light. It's very interesting to think that in maybe a couple of years' time, we might be seeing a very different Star Wars video game universe.
I hope that other developers are given a chance to work with the Star Wars
Yeah,
canon. As we're seeing on screen,
Yeah.
like, it does better when you give it to different creators, so...
It makes perfect sense. Like, why restrict your field of focus when you could have the entire universe?
Exactly.
Exactly. Anyway, so let us know what you thought about this down in the comment section below, whether or not you like or dislike the thought of EA being in partnership or not with Disney. As always, I've been Jules, this has been Scott. Head back to whatculture.com for more news and articles like this. You know what, do us a little favour, subscribe and hit that little notification button to stay up to date with all of our little silly antics. Until then, bye-bye. I like that. Whoop! Whoop!
I'm the Death Star noise.
Whoop!